Hi guys, it is the AFL Yank back here again in time for another AFL tipping video. I just finished the Eagles versus Blues live stream that I did. It was a bit unexpected, but I just did it for fun. But yeah. Anyways, let's get on to the round 18 tips for the 2022 AFL season. And I ended up getting 7 out of 9 tips correct, which it's my best round actually since I have this calculated somewhere on a piece of paper. Just give me a quick second. I don't know where it is. I know it's here somewhere. Yeah, I'll get back in just a second. Yeah, 7 out of 9 tips correct. It's actually my best record for tips. Tips are alone, except I think round 13. It's my best round since round 13 tipping wise. It's 7 out of 9 tips. The two tips I got wrong were the D's and the Lions. For the D's, it was a little bit expected. I mean, the Cats have been a force at home at GMHBA, and for a team, and the Brisbane Lions unexpectedly had a COVID scare, which really sucks. But regardless of that, 7 out of 9 tips. Tip the Swans correct, Pies correct. And then the biggest shocker was obviously my biggest upset of the round was projecting the Gold Coast Suns to beat Richmond. And look at what happened. They did it. They did it, dang it. Freo beat St. Kilda. Port beat GWS very convincingly. I did tip Hawthorn to beat Adelaide, although for some reason it has it wrong, but that should be corrected. And for Carlton and West Coast, I forgot to reload the page. Just give me a second here, but yep, very accurate. There we go. Yep, 116 to 53. Game just happened about a half hour ago, I think. And yeah. So let's get on to the round 18 tips. We got the Western Bulldogs versus St. Kilda. The doggies coming off a very disappointing performance against the Swans, and St. Kilda, they're also coming off a very disappointing performance against Freo. St. Kilda, in my opinion, have been a very on and off team this year. Like, when they dominate at home, they absolutely tear it up, but when they play off, they just are absolutely off. And just, it seems like every round where they play really off, just no one expects them to do well for some reason. But regardless, I'm going to go an upset here. I'm actually going to take St. Kilda to win this game. I feel like they'll win this game by a very close margin. Like, St. Kilda is one of those very inconsistent sides. Like, one week they look incredibly awful, but then the next week they absolutely just tear it up, and I feel like that'll happen to St. Kilda. I'm going St. Kilda to win in an upset match against Western Bulldogs by 5 points to keep their finals hopes alive. And yeah. Then it is at Adelaide Oval. The Adelaide Crows versus Collingwood. The Pies have just been on fire. Crows have been on a very downward spiral as of late. They've fallen back to 15th. They're basically out of the running for finals at this point. I mean, they could definitely steal a win here, but I am not sure if a team like Collingwood could drop a game like this. Like, I feel like the Pies are going to be very motivated to get top 4 with a very young side. But regardless, anything is possible. But yeah, I'm leaning on the Pies to win this game. Very leaning on Collingwood winning. They just have that momentum in them. And for some reason, Squiggle didn't like project the right game in the right order. But regardless, for the GWS and Brisbane Lions game, hopefully the Lions should have most of their side back from the COVID protocols and stuff. Like, it's expected. I'm going to go with Lions to win this game. It's just the Giants have just been super awful. I mean, I get Essendon beat Brisbane, but just the Lions are missing like half their side due to COVID. I mean, if they still have a COVID problem, I think I might change my tip, but it's very unlikely. North Melbourne versus Richmond. No surprises here. Going with the Tigers to win this game. They should win this game. Absolutely disappointed against Gold Coast, but yeah, I think they should handle North a lot better. And speaking of the Adelaide Collingwood game, I'm going to say Collingwood win by 27. For North Melbourne versus Richmond, I'm going with the Tigers to win this by 31 points. And then Geelong versus Carlton, one of the biggest matches of the year. Carlton trying to get a top 4 spot, and the Cats trying to remain on top of the ladder. This one's going to be super interesting. But the Blues, they've been a very on and off side, and I feel like they might drop it this week. I'm leaning on the Cats to win. I'm going to go with Geelong to win this game in an absolute thriller by 8 points. Then the Swans versus Freo at Optus Stadium. The Swans have never won at Optus Stadium against Freo. Swans have a very strong win with an incredibly strong win against the Western Bulldogs, but the real question is can they stay consistent? They've had plenty of inconsistency. They've had plenty of consistency issues as of course the Essendon game obviously this year where they just were absolutely messy. That was an absolute disaster of a game. But yeah. Regardless though, Freo are actually a really good side, and I think the Swans will definitely give them a test, but I feel like, I know I'm going to upset a lot of people saying this, but I feel like in the short run, Freo might squeeze the win here. I'm going to say Freo win this game in an absolute thriller by 3 points. Like, I feel like it's going to be like last year, in a way. It's going to hurt a lot, but that's what you get from the Swans. That's what you get. And finally, West Coast Eagles versus, well, not finally, Hawthorn versus the West Coast Eagles. The Eagles coming off what was an okay performance in one quarter, and then they just absolutely were a traffic cone in a game against Carlton. No surprise here, going with Hawthorn. They should have a nice run of momentum here in the final stretch of the season. I'll say Hawthorn win by 15 points. I could definitely see the Hawks take a bit of a run late in the season. It's really possible. Then at T.O. Traeger Park, and pretty sure it's in Darwin, right? Melbourne versus Port. Both sides. The D's coming off a disappointing loss against the Cats, and Port coming off a very sluggish game against. And Port, they're coming off a very big win against GWS, although the Giants have been one of the weaker sides this year. I'm going to go with the D's to win this game. I feel like they're going to be better motivated to win. Yeah, I'm leaning on the D's to win this game. They should win this comfortably by 35 points, although anything can happen. And finally, at Marvel Stadium, Essendon versus Gold Coast. This one is tough. Like, the Suns, they've been a force at Metricon Stadium, but it seems like in Victoria, they just have tons of issues. This one's going to be so tight. But Essendon, they have been playing super well. Got wins over the Swans and Lions. Their season's basically over, but they're handling it. Like, the pressure is gone. They're handling it very well. This really depends on how good the Suns do in Victoria, but regardless, I'm going to go with Essendon to win 3 in a row. I say they win by 17 points. They're doing a pretty solid job late in the season, even though their finals chances are virtually over. And, yeah. Regardless, guys, thank you for the support. I'm definitely looking forward to round 18. I might do more live reaction videos. I know I've been mainly doing Swans ones, but I'm interested in doing others. So yeah. Nonetheless, I'm the AFL Yank. Well, actually, I gotta review the Squiggle ladder last. But yeah, D Spurs, Cats second, Frio third, Lions fourth, Collingwood fifth, Blues sixth, Swans seventh, and Tigers eighth. St. Kilda ninth, Dogs 10th, Suns 11th, Port 12th, Hawks 13th, Bombers 14th, GWS 15th, Crows 16th, Eagles 17th, and North Melbourne in 18th. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I am the AFL Yank signing out. Come on, Swannies.